7:48 a.m. on a Saturday, we got a review just for you. So yesterday, as I had been anticipating and waiting, I went and saw the new P.T. Anderson movie. P.T. Anderson has to be one of the better directors of the modern era. I would say he's one of my favorite directors. Masterpiece films such as 2007's There Will Be Blood or 2012 The Master. They rank up there among some of my favorite films. Awesome soundtracks, awesome cinematography. So I've gone back again and again to see his films opening day or as early as I can in their release on the big screen. I did not splurge. They made 70 millimeter prints and they portrayed this in IMAX, but I just saw it in the standard format. This particular film, One Battle After Another, again directed by P.T. Anderson. It came out a couple of days ago on an early release on Thursday, which would have been the 18th of September. No, it wouldn't be. It'd be the 25th of September. I'm looking at the wrong day. Yes. So anyway, today we are broadcasting live. Well, you're going to see a recorded version of it either way. So it's the 27th of September, just a couple of days after. This movie is a darling of critics. High Rotten Tomato critic score. So this movie has a 97% Rotten Tomato critic score. And P.T. Anderson is one of those directors where I feel like it's more of a narrow audience of people that are going to like it, like real cinemaphiles or people that are into more deeper, complex films are going to go see his movies. Is it going to be a major box office draw? I feel like this movie is very polarizing, especially with the modern political climate. It's a very relevant film. I don't know if it will make back its massive budget. So Leonardo DiCaprio took a standard fee of $20 million, and the Warner Brothers studio was banking on his performance for being a big film draw. The budget was between 130 and 175 million. I just don't know if he'll make that back. It's only made $3 million in early release. Today's Saturday, so we'll see what it does. They're projecting $20 million over the weekend. But I feel like, again, this film, it's a very specific film and it's going to be very polarizing, and I don't know if it will make that 175 to 130 million back. So, and it's also incredibly long. This movie has a 2-hour and 50-minute runtime, and this was his first film since Boogie Nights where he allowed test audiences to see it, and he even cut over 10 minutes of the film down based off of audience reception. IMDb score, 8.5 out of 10. This is Anderson's second time revisiting a Thomas Pynchon novel and kind of loosely adapting it for big screen. His first Thomas Pynchon adaptation was 2014's Inherent Vice. Again, that film's not going to be for everybody. Inherent Vice was a period film. This film starts in the early 2000s and spreads to present day, dealing with many modern day issues, whereas the 1990 Thomas Pynchon novel, Vineland, that this was adapted from, took place in the Reagan era. He kind of loosely put together all of these stories to make this film now. It was shot throughout Sacramento, Humboldt counties, the Anzo Borrego Springs State Park, as well as various filming locations throughout San Diego County and El Paso, Texas. Filmed on VistaVision 35mm film cameras, so I do enjoy that. You know I love my film grain, and it just, to me, a movie shot on film, it's pure and original. Now everything's digital, but I can see the difference. I don't know. The audience score for Rotten Tomatoes, to me, it's too small of a sampling. Right now, it's only about 500 people, and it's about 86%. I don't know what the audience score will be over time. A very politically charged film. And this channel is not really, I don't get into politics very much. We're living in crazy times right now, you know, with Charlie's, what happened to him a couple of weeks back. I feel like the country is more divided than ever, and this movie is kind of a divisive political propaganda film, in my opinion. As much as I love P.T. Anderson and the way that he lays out his films, the beautiful backdrops, beautiful scenery, like the way he captures light, his collaboration, this is his 6th collaboration with Johnny Greenwood for a soundtrack, so it has that classic P.T. Anderson soundtrack that you love. Even his pop culture songs that he mixes in are great. But this is not my favorite of his films. I know it's a darling of critics right now, and I'm thinking that this might be a Best Picture win based off of the current political climate. I'm going to go 2 out of 5. There's parts that I loved, and I wanted it to be a 4 out of 5 based off of the scenery. I loved performance of Sean Penn. Leonardo DiCaprio essentially plays a washed-up revolutionary who's just become a stoner. And there are parts of the film that I like. They kind of portray the immigrations and custom enforcement people as racist misogynists. So they're kind of pushing this illegal immigration narrative. So he's obviously got his bias, right? This is a leftist movie. He's kind of portraying the Antifa types and anti-government types in a more softer, apathetic, sympathetic view, I guess you could say. But then I don't know, though, because the character played by Leonardo DiCaprio leaves that whole world once he has a daughter and is kind of just laying low and trying to be not on the radar. And he kind of steps back from all of his revolutionary ideals to focus on raising his daughter as a single dad. So I did like that. I feel like the Leonardo DiCaprio character, I think he's funny and a fun character, and he is more of a redeeming part of the movie. The Sean Penn character plays this very cartoonish character, Colonel Lockjaw, which in some of the reviews that I read, people thought that was ridiculous, but that's kind of like, I feel like Thomas Pynchon influence from what I've seen in Inherent Vice. It's kind of like these cartoonish characters. He plays this Customs and Border Patrol military-esque type of white supremacist, racist, misogynist character. But then he has a love affair with one of the other protagonist characters, and I didn't write her name down. She's a black chick. Her last name is Beverly Hills, which to me is kind of more of that Thomas Pynchon kind of based off of what I've seen from Inherent Vice. I've never read any of his novels. Some great car chases. I feel I can see the influence of like neo-noir films from the 60s, like Bullet with Steve McQueen. I see some of the influence in some of the car chase scenes from that. This movie has a lot of comedic timing that felt very Coen Brothers inspired as well. At times I felt like I was watching a Coen Brothers film. But again, this channel is not really going to be on one side or the other. I just feel like it's a very inflammatory movie shedding light on political climate now, and you're going to have to pick sides. So if you're on one political spectrum, you're not going to like this movie. And if you were on another political spectrum, you're going to think this movie is awesome and a 5 out of 5. But for me personally, it's very divisive for the current timing of everything that's going on in our country, and that's why I'm kind of a lowly 2 out of 5, which I really wanted it to be a higher scoring movie. And again, there's parts of the film that I loved. I loved the way it was filmed. I loved the soundtrack. It's got that classic P.T. Anderson film. I laughed out loud in certain moments with that kind of Coen Brothers-esque style of comedy that he wrote into the character development. I think part of it is cheesy. There's this whole secret white supremacist club called the Christmas Adventurers Society. To me, that felt like a very Coen Brothers style of influence to the way he wrote that whole part of the film. There's this bizarre sexuality influence where one of the main protagonists is like this nymphomaniac, and she has this love child with the Sean Penn character. Spoiler alert. I just thought that was really uncomfortable and really weird. But it's his movie. He could do what he wants. The car chase scenes were great. I don't know. Is he glorifying Antifa, or am I reading into things with my own political bias? It just seemed very, like, preachy to me. Like, you'll see the film and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I didn't like that. It didn't sit well with me. Versus like films like There Will Be Blood. The first time I saw that movie, and I saw that movie twice in theaters, it's like, yes, this is a masterpiece. Same thing with the P.T. Anderson film, The Master, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Joaquin Phoenix. I felt like that's one of his best films. His last couple of films, Licorice Pizza was okay. I have the soundtrack and I do own a copy of it. Even his last collaboration with Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know if that movie was a huge box office success, and I should have took notes on that, but The Phantom Thread, I felt like that was a masterpiece. And again, you get a Johnny Greenwood soundtrack. This movie is just okay. It's getting so much critical acclaim and Oscar buzz right now early on, and I can't explain it, folks. It's just a lower scoring movie for me, mostly because I felt like it was a pure propaganda film and I was being preached at, and I didn't like that. So roast me in the comments section. I might lose some subscribers. It is what it is. Until next time, we'll see you then.